Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. So the joys of YouTubing. So I recorded a bunch of clips over the last couple of days, but I went to edit it and it was spread out, and then sometimes I was under stress, sometimes I was working on the bad lighting. So I felt it was not going to make for good content. So let me summarize what happened over the last week or so since I last uploaded. So I'm going to be talking about the bike, of course. So we got the bike running in the last video. I synced the timing with the same hole I showed you guys, and all seemed to be well. I began riding. The first tune out on the bike was a bit lean, was very lean, after I added the map sensor line. So before that, I was doing my tuning with no reference for map, which is manifold pressure, but then stuff. And when I changed the tune around a bit, it was a bit lean. So I cleaned it up and the bike was running fine. And I was on the X4 ECU. So during the week, what I did was then I swapped in an X2 ECU, which is basically just a slimmed down version of the X4. So this is the X2. You saw the X4 in the previous video. So this one is basically the same thing, just 2 channels. So what I hope to accomplish with that, well, what I did accomplish was that I wanted something smaller to fit in the back of the bike to make room for my tools and everything. But what ended up happening was that the X4 was running perfectly. The X2, the Speeduino X2 from Detonation EMS, what I had was a development board, an alpha board. So it was one of the early boards he made when he was testing out the design. So he sent it to me months ago. I never tested it. But what I found was that I've gotten a lot of sync loss. So since then, I have gone back to UA4C. The reason I chose to not go back to the X4 is not because there's anything wrong with it, is because I want a 4-channel board so that I can swap between the stock ECU and the factory ECU. The X2 is a 2-channel, so it'll be fine. Wasted spark and the injectors will be paired, so you cannot go back to the factory ECU easily without cutting the wires that you join when I made my harness for the speeduino. So now that that is settled, I also had MS Droid installed on my phone, and I was doing a lot of the tuning, and for the most part the bike is running great. So the sync loss now, I have tested it with the UA4C at idle, and it's, for the most part, it seems to be gone. So now what I want to do now is to actually take it out for an extended ride with the UA4C to see what exactly is the result of the swap I did. Alright, so let me just give you guys a quick start here and we'll pick up with some riding. I actually want to bring you guys for a ride, but I have no way of mounting a camera to my helmet or anything, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention was that now we have a wideband installed in the car. On the bike, sorry. My friend Meldon loaned me his Innovate LC2, which I have tucked up in there. Again, doing an install on the bike is a bit difficult since you don't have a lot of space for anything. So I do have a new wideband coming in for this one. I did not want to pull the wideband from Judas to put onto her since it's really hardwired into Judas. So now let me show you guys a startup with the, should be a cold start, with the UA4C ECU. You can see it's running on the UA4C and it starts up and run as good as stock, right? Let's say even better. So it's like super loud. Okay, so starts up. No sync loss as far as I've seen. So what I want to do, I want to take you guys out for a ride. I'm not sure how I'm going to record that, but I'm going to take you guys out for a ride. And the plan is to hopefully take it for the dyno pretty soon. Hopefully in the next few days, but I don't know. We'll see. All right, it's day, I'm not sure. So, couple issues I've been having with the bike. So, the bike has been, for the most part, been running well, but I do have a little issue where the bike is getting sync loss. And sync loss is basically, as the name says, it's a point where the ECU loses sync with the trigger pattern, and that can be caused by a number of things. But most importantly, it's noise on the circuit. Noise is stuff that causes electrical stuff to go a little bit haywire. So, the fix for that generally is just run some shielded wire, which is just wire with a little bit of metal insulation, some tin foil looking thing in the connector. We're not going to get too in the cable, sorry. We're not going to get too in depth with what exactly that is. But in addition to that, another thing you can do is to add a shunt resistor. What a shunt resistor is, I already went ahead and I added one here to my ECU. I'm not about to take it out. So what a shunt resistor is basically use these resistors. So I have a box of varying resistors, but typically what I find works is, where is it? It's like a 10K resistor. You basically put it across the VR sensor. So the VR sensor is more susceptible to noise. So you put it across the negative and the positive, or the high and the low, however you want to refer to it. I typically start with again, the correct thing to do is to shield the wire first, but I'm not about to cut the OEM harness. So I started with a 10K. This is what usually works for me, but I still got, on a short ride I would get something like 150 counts of sync loss, but I did a 10K yesterday I think it was, and I only got like 25, so it really helped. But 25 is still a little bit too high. I'm aiming for 0. I might not be able to get 0 without actually shielding it, but what I actually did today was I stepped it up. I don't have anything in between this 22K, which is 22,000 ohms, and my 10K, so I just used the 22K. I installed it on the ECU. I'm not about to take it out. So what I basically did, this is an old V0.4, so I think the VR1 is like 24. So what I typically do, I just take a resistor, cut the legs really short, and I just solder it across the two legs. So VR1 and VR1 minus. You can work for any ECU, not a speeduino. You can do it mega square, whatever ECU. As long as you have noise, it's a quick band-aid. It helps. Some VR conditions you can add it to that, but that's what I did for now. So I'm about to take it for another ride. I know lots of talking in this video, right? Not a lot of action. So the other thing I did was I modified my clutch switch a little bit. So now I actually have 2-step. So before that, what I can do for you is to do a cold start for you guys. So no longer do I need the clutch switch to start. Now I can start without it as long as the bike is in neutral. So here's a cold start for you guys. And we also have MS Droid running, so we'll check that out as well. Okay, so MS Droid disconnected, but it was 2070, so essentially a cold start. The white band is not connected. And close that up. So it's a little bit troublesome to get MS Droid working. There we go. So you have MS Droid working, cold start, 12 volts. So the white band again is not connected. So you can see currently sync losses is 0. Typically with the 10K, what I would find out that I'll get 1 or 2 sync loss counts just starting up, and then more as the bike rides on. That is definitely a step in the right direction. That paired with the medium filter speeduino. Alright, so let me wrap up this video because lots of talking. Okay, so here's what I have for you guys. So I just came from, let me sit here, hopefully the lighting is good. So I just came from the ride, and so far what I ended up doing was I ended up testing out 3 VR conditioners. So this is what you use to condition the signals from the trigger setup. We're not going to get too technical. So I started off with this one. It's a Mini Max. It's a Max 9926 base VR conditioner. Very popular. I always use these on the Hondas. So this worked good, but I was getting sync loss. This one I tried afterwards. This one actually sucked. This is trash. It's my opinion. Some folks use it. For me, I have never had luck with the DSC. It's my opinion that for what I like to do with it, which is Toyotas, Hondas, and whatever, they don't work. It does not work good in that application. But what I end up using is the dual VR conditioner from Detonation EMS. I have no shares in the business Detonation EMS or anybody's business. I love using WTM Tronics products. He's actually a good friend of mine, so I will have a link to his site down in the bottom. And I get all my stuff from him. Some of the stuff I get for free, some of them I have to pay, but that is besides the point. I don't have any shares in any business, so I'm just giving an honest review. And for the 5 to 10 minute ride that I normally do to test out the bike, I usually get with the Max 9926 condition, I get around 25 counts of sink loss. With the DSC, I did not even bother to ride it because it was just running horribly from the time I started up the bike. But with the dual VR conditioner from Detonation EMS, going from going from 25 counts of sink loss on average, 25 to 35 with the Max, I only get one count of sink loss. So it's not perfect, but 25, going from 25 to 1 is amazing. So I've only done one ride so far, but it seems to be working good. But one thing I want to show you guys is I also have the two-step setup on that bike. Everyone loves two-step, right? So I currently have it set to 8,000. What do I have it set to? I think I have it set to 8,000, -15 soft limiter, and I had that at 80 free. So it's like it has a 300 RPM gap between soft and hard limiter. Let me show you guys. I'll do a shot cam again as usual. Okay, so I modified the clutch reach, so now I don't need the clutch to start, so I just need to clutch in. 1 second. I need to prepare better for this stuff. So 8,000 RPM limit. So if I let go of the clutch, right? So yeah, I need to check the tach settings. I think I need to lower the pulse, but without the clutch I can rev all the way up to 17,000 if I like. Get some nice pops as well, but with the clutch the two-step works. Alright, so it's probably gonna wrap up this video. So thanks you guys. I know this one didn't have much action in it. I promise you the next one will. But for now I'll wrap up and say, well, this one has lots of testing, so hopefully you guys learned something in there. I was about to redo the wiring on the VR conditioner and put some shielded cables. I'm happy that I did not have to mess with the factory wiring. I'm gonna wrap it up now. So lots of testing, and I think now we're in the position to take the bike to the dyno, see how well we do with the speeduino ECU. Right, so hopefully that'll be the next video. So helicopter is going over, so catch you guys then.